Mom accidentally adds me into a group chat called Happy Family. In the group chat, I saw Mom, Dad, and a stranger who's nicknamed Sweetheart. They are in the middle of organizing a birthday party for him. However, the thing is, tomorrow will be my birthday, which they have forgotten for the 10th time in a row. Mom says, the venue must be dreamy. I want him to feel like an actual prince. Dad transfers a huge sum of money to Sweetheart. Money is no problem. Just don't let Christopher find out about this. It'll screw things up for us. I quietly take screenshots of everything, planning to find a chance to expose my parents' true colors and end everything with them once and for all at that moment. My younger sister, who's always been great at her studies, sends me a screenshot via our private chat. It's a screenshot of the chat history between her and Mom. Mom, have you made preparations for Christopher's surprise party yet? You promised me that this is the last time y'all lied to him. Chapter 1. I stared at the screenshots my sister, Susie Blake, had sent me, and my heart sank. A surprise? The last time they would ever lie to me? That explains so much. Every year on my birthday, my parents would brush me off with all sorts of excuses. Chris, something urgent came up at work. Mom once said, Chris, I've got a meeting with a friend about business. Order some takeout for yourself. Dad once said. This year, they didn't even bother with excuses. They had simply replaced me with someone else. I tossed my phone aside. My chest felt as if something heavy had lodged itself there. Another WhatsApp message from Susie popped up. Christopher, don't overthink it. Mom and Dad just. I replied with just 2 words. Got it? Overthink it. How could I not overthink it? The facts were right in front of me. That birthday party for their sweetheart was the so-called surprise they had lied to me about as their biological son. I was nothing more than a backdrop for another boy's happiness. I heard Mom's hushed voice from the living room as she spoke on the phone. Right? Well, go with blue balloons. The biggest and brightest ones. Ben loves blue the most, so it has to be perfect for him. Ben. Listening closely to their conversation, I pieced together the boy's full name, Benjamin Smith. I picked up my phone and searched for the name on Instagram. Soon, a boy with a polished profile picture appeared. His highlighted stories were filled with glamorous photos of him traveling around the world. His most recent Instagram story was a photo of him with my parents, taken in my living room. In the photo, Mom and Dad's smiles were warm and loving. Mom's arm rested affectionately on Benjamin's shoulder, while Dad stood beside him with eyes full of indulgence. It was an expression I had never once seen on their faces. The caption read, "Thank you, Mr. Blake and Mrs. Blake. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's party." Mom left a comment underneath, "Silly child, there's no need to be so formal with us." Meanwhile, Dad gave the post a like. What a perfect family. I saved the photo along with the group chat screenshots and stored them in my encrypted album. These would be the surprises I plan to give them tomorrow. At dinner, Mom made soup and served me a bowl with exaggerated attentiveness. Chris, try it. I made this especially for you, she said. I looked at the greasy chicken soup. My throat tightened as a wave of nausea surged up. Is this supposed to liven up Benjamin's birthday party? I asked lightly. The smile on Mom's face froze. She glanced at Dad, and his expression darkened immediately. What nonsense are you talking about? Benjamin? He replied. Oh, looks like you forget things easily, Dad. I took out my phone and opened the photo. Isn't this boy your so-called sweetheart? Dad's face turned ashen in an instant. Mom rushed to smooth things over. Chris, you misunderstood. He's the son of an important client of mine. We're just helping to organize his birthday party. A client's son? I sneered. Is he important enough to have a whole group chat, to be tagged as sweetheart, and even receive a large money transfer? Is he important enough to make you ignore your own son's birthday entirely? In an instant, the living room fell silent except for the sound of breathing. Susie rushed out of her room and grabbed my arm. Christopher, let's not get carried away. I shook her off. What? Are you going to help Mom and Dad lie to me too? Susie's face turned pale. Her lips moved, but not a single word came out. The next day, on my birthday, the house was empty. $100 and a note were left on the table. The note was in Mom's handwriting. Chris, the money is on the table. Buy yourself something good to eat. Chapter 2. My parents had treated me with the same indifference for 10 years. Even the amount of money they gave me had never changed. I crumpled the bill into a tight ball and tossed it into the trash. After last night ended badly, they stopped pretending altogether. I heard Mom talking on the phone in her room. Her voice was brimming with excitement. The venue is already set up. It looks just like a fairy tale. Dad was giving instructions on the balcony. Bring the bottle of 80 to Lafite. We have to make sure Ben enjoys himself today. All the while, I drifted through the house like a ghost. Susie left early that morning. Before she went, she glanced at me with a complicated look. Christopher, no matter what you see, trust me, trust her. Trust that she was part of this deception too. I let out a cold laugh and said nothing. Around noon, a delivery truck stopped downstairs. 2 workers unloaded an enormous gift box tied with an exaggerated blue bow. I stood by the window and watched. It turned out that, to them, I didn't even deserve a gift. Mom hurried downstairs, smiling from ear to ear as she signed for the delivery. She directed the workers with extreme care, afraid it might get damaged. I recognized the logo. It was a limited edition piano released just last month, priced well into 6 figures. Meanwhile, my old piano, which I had used for 10 years, had yellowed keys and was out of tune. I had hinted at it to Mom before, but she always replied, if it still works, keep using it. The household expenses are heavy. It turned out that the expenses were not the problem. I simply wasn't worth it. The last trace of hope in my heart was completely extinguished. That afternoon, I changed into a black suit. I neatly styled my hair and adjusted my appearance to conceal the exhaustion in my eyes. I couldn't let them see me in such a disheveled state. I would draw a clear line between us with my head held high. I had overheard the address for the party during Mom's phone call the night before. They had reserved the most prestigious banquet hall in the city. I took a cab there. Along the way, the driver kept marveling at the impending event. Young man, what big occasion is it today? The road ahead is blocked. I heard that some rich family is throwing a birthday party for their son, and it's incredibly extravagant. I forced a faint smile and said nothing. Yes, the party was grand, so grand that it was built on 10 years of my grievances. A long red carpet stretched across the entrance of the hall, flanked by rows of blue rose arrangements. On the welcome sign at the entrance, elegant cursive letters read, "Happy birthday to my sweetheart." It was signed, "With love, your mom and dad." I stared at those words, finding them painfully glaring. I took out my phone and sent Susie a message. "I'm here to see your so-called surprise." Then I took a deep breath and stepped inside in my leather shoes. Inside the banquet hall, glasses clinked and laughter filled the air. My parents stood in the middle of the crowd, smiling warmly as they entertained the guests. Beside them stood a boy dressed in a blue formal suit. That was Benjamin. He